If you clicked on this video and don't want to hear about Eagle Mountain real estate, where it's at, where it's going, and market threats, quit watching now. My name's Cole, the easygoing realtor, and I help people with realtor stuff in this neck of the woods, so reach out if that's you. Eagle Mountain, in my opinion, is Utah's biggest small town. It just has that tight-knit vibe. Everyone's close. It feels, almost feels like you're just out in the boonies and no one else is around. But there are 55,000 people in the city. And the population has 5x in the past 20 years, and it's not slowing down. It's growing so fast for one main reason, and that is land availability. There's so much land in Eagle Mountain. It's actually the biggest city land-wise in all of Utah County. It's bigger than Provo. Provo's second. Provo has the most population in all of Utah County. However, look at this graph. Eagle Mountain is catching up. I don't think it's going to catch up all the way, at least I hope not, and this is why. The current and hopefully the future lot sizes in Eagle Mountain are on average 25% larger than Provo's. That's because Provo's is a college town. You have a lot of students. Higher density housing means smaller lot sizes. Out in Eagle Mountain, you have a lot of wide open space, and people like their space. They want bigger lots for a better, more affordability. However, it is growing so fast because you have a lot of people who can't afford a home in Provo, and they're moving out to Eagle Mountain because, hey, Eagle Mountain actually has really nice houses on beautiful lot sizes out here, so they're going to move out there, and that's why it's growing so fast. Builders love it because they can grab a bunch of land for cheap, develop it, and it's easier to find land because as a developer, it's really hard to find land with numbers that make sense. There's a lot more of that out here. And I guess I need to be more careful about what I say because $500,000 average sales price in a home is not cheap. I'm just saying relative to the rest of Utah County, Eagle Mountain is more affordable. And for a developer, I'm not going to make it sound like it's super easy to find land. It's still, you got to work for it. Let's talk a little bit why it's more affordable to you. It's just less established. You have people who live out in Eagle Mountain who still travel quite a bit to the other cities in northern Utah County for work. A lot of people work up and down the Wasatch Front. This is a little bit more out of the way. It's west, and you only have two main roads that connect all of Eagle Mountain to the rest of it, so traffic can get a little bit horrendous. Hopefully they figure that out soon. They do have plans to put a highway in, extend some roads to even 5 lanes, and do a bunch of different things, create more avenues to make it to that big main highway that goes east to the rest of Wasatch Front. But for now, that's how it is. You have a lot more plans also for more commercial areas out here. It's a younger city. It's developing, and the residential side has developed a lot quicker than the commercial side. And as far as I can see, it's going to keep going that way because right now you have prices that are high and interest rates that are high, making housing a little bit less affordable than what people are hoping. And that's pushing more people who want to move to Utah County out to Eagle Mountain because they can afford a nicer home out here on a decent lot. And I don't think that's going to change very soon. Yes, you have the Fed who is planning on lowering interest rates slowly over the next, however long. We were expecting it sooner to happen, but because of inflation and job reports coming in, the Fed is a little bit less inclined to lower those interest rates. And when they do happen, it's going to happen probably toward the end of this year or into 2025. When it does happen and those interest rates lower, it's going to be a lot more boring than what people think. People are expecting, the interest rates are going to lower. All these buyers are just going to flood into the market, and it's going to raise prices, making housing even less affordable. And this is what I think is going to happen. You're going to have buyers trickle in because interest rates are going to trickle down. It's not going to be all at once. Buyers will trickle in, and on the other hand, you also have all these sellers who are going to enter into the market because right now you have people who are, they have these killer interest rates. They're sitting on their equity, but they don't love their home. They want to sell their home and upgrade, but they have such a great interest rate that they can't justify doing that yet. Once interest rates start trickling down, it will be enough for those sellers to justify, hey, I'm going to sell my house now and level up. And that's going to bring more inventory to the market. And that's going to counterbalance all of those buyers coming into the market. And the the buyers will outweigh the sellers and prices probably will go up, but it's going to be slow. It's going to be boring. I think, we're kind of stuck at this high level of house affordability where it's not going to change. Prices are just unaffordable right now. And unless a crazy market crash happens with people losing their jobs and foreclosing on their homes, unless there's a big wave of that, it's not going to change. But what could change is where Eagle Mountain's trajectory is headed as far as what is it going to look like as a fully developed city? Where is its position in the marketplace going to be? Let's talk about the threats. There's one thing that is majorly affecting Eagle Mountain right now and will affect its future, and that is the Eagle Mountain Planning Committee. There are so many decisions to be made concerning the development of the city and how things are laid out that it could go really well or it could just suck. And what really stings about that is planning committees, people go and leave and they're transient. And so some years you could have a really good planning committee, other years you don't. And in the years that you don't, it can really affect the city in the long term. There have already been some bad decisions and some good decisions with the planning committee, but in my opinion, they need to focus on this one thing, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to let Craig Whiting tell you what it is. I interviewed him last year because he was running for city council. He has a master's in real estate development and a certificate in urban planning. He did a little bit of research on comparing two cities, West Jordan and South Jordan, and this is what he had to say about Eagle Mountain and what they need to focus on. And I have to say, I agree 100%. But before I let him talk, if you like sales stats and real estate data for things that only realtors can usually see, there is a free link below where you can check all that out and stay in touch with all of that. Now here is Craig.
If you look at West Jordan's school system and its school ratings, it ranks much more inferior to South Jordan. So South Jordan ranks so much better school system. Crime rate, so much lower in South Jordan, so much higher in West Jordan. You look at property values. You take the highest valuing zip code in West Jordan, the highest valuing zip code in South Jordan. They're like $13,000 difference, something like that, $120,000, whatever it be, $140,000. There's a huge difference in the value between those. It's like, okay, so why does South Jordan have so much better schools, so much lower crime rate, and higher property values? What the heck does South Jordan do? They're geographically equal in their competitive location. They are like identically competitive in that. You look at when they both incorporated in the mid-1800s. They both had the same amount of time to build what they wanted to build. South Jordan intentionally created many subdivisions with quarter-acre lots, third-acre lots, whereas West Jordan has so many 0.1-acre lots, tiny lots. That's the biggest difference. And yet our city is trying to model itself after a model that we have already proven will have a worse school system and a higher crime rate as time goes on. You don't feel it initially. You won't even feel it in the first 5 years. Probably won't even feel it in the first 10 years, maybe 15 years. This city's already super young anyway. We're only going into now our third decade, right? And so you're not going to feel the effects. I could put a gazillion townhomes somewhere and you're not going to feel all of those effects immediately. Okay? But you will with time.
And I've got to be real with you. I can see the temptation of wanting to do smaller lot sizes because there's potentially more money in it for the developer and the city. However, the data proves itself, like Craig said, schools, crime rate, and I would add traffic. Eagle Mountain's geographical location is just out far west. You're limited as to how many roads go from east to west. And so, yes, you can widen those roads, but that takes time and money. And my point is, if you do higher density housing out here, you're going to need to widen those roads a lot more than you would have if you did bigger lot sizes. So that's just another problem to add on to it. Eagle Mountain has plenty of land. So let's not screw it up. Let's make some good choices and not be dumb. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.